In 1972, Americans spent $3 billion at a fast food restaurant in a year. Today, we spend about $110 billion on fast food in one single year. I am here to persuade you that fast food restaurants use their advertising to gain customers, but this leads to a rise in obesity rates. This topic is very relative to today's society because everyone is living at such a fast pace that fast food restaurants are just convenient. This overall has caused obesity rates to skyrocket. I have been thinking about this ever since my 9th grade health class when we had to buy McDonald's and keep it for a whole year. This really made me realize that processed foods like this going into our bodies cannot be healthy. Today, I'm going to tell you about the average American and their eating habits, how parents influence their children, what advertising agencies are really doing, and how this is affecting people psychologically. First, I would like to discuss the average American and their consumption of fast food. Beth Levine is currently an investigator at Howard Hughes Medical Institute and a professor of internal medicine and microbiology at Texas Southwestern Medical Center. According to Beth Levine, from the Baseline of Health Foundation, on average, Americans consume roughly around 11.3% of their daily calories from fast food, leading to a 35.7% obesity rate. This is hard to believe, right? Studies from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention show that 50 million Americans are served at a fast food restaurant each day, and 44% of that 50 million admit to eating it multiple times in the same week. Do you still believe that this greasy, fatty food does not contribute to weight gain? Now that you have a little insight on the average Americans around you, let's take a look at the way the younger generation is being affected. Neither the parents nor fast food companies' advertising agencies want to take the blame for the rise in obesity rates. Let's take a look at the influence parents have on the habits of their children. Children do not have the money or the transportation to get a fast food restaurant unless their parents take them. Parents do have the responsibility of starting their children off in the right direction by either offering healthy alternatives or giving in as your child sits in the back seat whining to get a Happy Meal. According to Shirley Wang, a physician at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and founder of American College of Physicians, parents influence their children's eating habits by exposure to particular foods. If the parents set the stage by feeding the children fruit and vegetables, then hopefully that child will get in the habit of eating healthy. However, fast food agencies try and place an indirect influence on parents as well to help alter their eating habits, which will then place that influence on children. This influence put on their children can lead to a lifelong habit of consuming fast food, possibly leading to life-altering changes such as disease and obesity. Let's move on to see the influence that comes from advertising agencies. Now we all realize we have the power to make our own decision, and fast food agencies are not solely to blame for obesity, but they definitely contribute. According to Connor, a well-educated researcher from the Institute of Medicine and member of the Committee of Food Marketing and Diets of Children, targeting children is very effective in changing children's behavior. Companies are smart about the way they advertise and when their commercials are publicized. They do not specifically state the dangers of eating these addicting foods, but often focus on the low prices and special deals that they offer. They also really worry about the image of the burger that they are marketing, but in reality, it looks like this. According to Melissa Robinson, a doctoral student of marketing and an attorney who did an abundance of research herself on this topic, the Pellman versus McDonald's case, a credible court case, shared many valid points. One being that these products are so high in fat, salt, and cholesterol that it will cause diseases from the amount of unhealthy substances you are exposing your body to. Two, they do not express that these products will make you addicted and you'll find yourself consuming these foods more than you should. And three, that these foods are so processed that they are horrible for your body. People are definitely influenced by these commercials and not necessarily in the way they should be, because only the attractive information is shared with the public. Hundreds of advertisements are viewed each year. Advertisements give off exposure to foods and beverages that we could quite possibly never have come across on our own. This exposure could lead to change in preference towards a certain food and possible repeated purchase of a food. Overall, this exposure could lead to improper dieting, lack of nutrition, disease, obesity, and eventually could cause death. Knowing more about advertisements and the influence they put on us can really help us make a better decision about eating healthy. As people sit and watch these commercials, they don't really know what is actually going on psychologically. So let's take a deeper look into this psychological process. Let's take a look at what is happening as we stare at the TV for hours. Over $1.6 million in the United States alone is used by the food industries for advertising only towards kids. The average child is exposed to roughly 15 food advertisements via the television each day, and 98% of those advertisements are for products containing high fat, sugar, and sodium. Fast food commercials also like to associate the atmosphere of their restaurants with fun, happiness, and toys, which every child is going to be mesmerized by this lifestyle. The social cognitive theory is how people acquire behavioral patterns. Jennifer Harris from Yale University is an associate research science and has written studies on psychological effects of advertising to children. According to Jennifer Harris, social cognitive theory predicts that repeated exposure to these commercials will start to sway your beliefs and reel you in whether you're really processing the actual commercial being presented or not. Sounds like they are brain warping us, right? Advertisements are constantly in our faces, and before we even know it really hit us, we are standing in line or at a drive-thru ordering the Big Mac. So really, we might have the initial decision to make, but advertisements do all they can to persuade us into walking through that door just once because they know we'll be back for more. I have shown you that fast food is everywhere and affects us slowly but surely over time. We find ourselves craving these addicting foods. Parents influence these habits by what they expose their children to. However, I bet most do not realize that advertising agencies really use media to influence parents and children. Fast food agencies have a way of capturing you psychologically when really you don't even realize it until it's too late. Advertising agencies work at this for a living and are smart about the way they capture your attention and persuade you into buying their product. Thank you for your time and attention. That concludes my presentation.